I really love the design of the Slicer, made many skins for it, and this is the first flight with my new Red Baron skin. So making a special video to show off the new skin and see if I can get a few good fights with it. Getting good fights is always a kind of a problem in EVE. Sometimes you just warp around for hours and not get any, but sometimes you just really get lucky, especially in faction warfare, as I just undock and just start scanning the plexus around, and yeah, on my first try I immediately find a Federation Navy Comet. I warp in at 50. I always change the range in which I warp in, but rarely at 0, depending a bit on the angle, and he's 50 kilometers off me. So I don't know why he's hanging outside. Maybe he's hoping to catch someone one outside and have a buddy come in. So I really prefer to fight inside the plex. But he obliges, he punches in, so I follow him in. Give him a little bit of a sense of an advantage, since I fought so many comets in these plexus before. Unless they're a good pilot, I sort of know what to do, and I'm happy to have them a bit of advantage. He's smart, so he already has his drones out in the few seconds that he has, and he's approaching me, and I'm waiting until he just passes me, then click away from him in space and accelerate away from him. And his shields is blasted in almost one cycle, and in 2 more hits his armor is almost down, and as you can see I'm still at half shields. Slicers can put out quite a bit of damage and can surprise and overwhelm the opponent, and especially a blaster comet like this who has his void loaded. If he just tail chases after me, I'm getting perfect hits. So just within a couple of seconds he's just gone. So far I'm happy. First kill with a rare Baron, and I must say I really love this skin. The high contrast, the little bit of blue in the black background, the metallic blue. I really enjoy this combination, how it works with the colors. Some moments later I see a Raptor in Auga, and I figure I can take it. This Raptor is obviously closing in on me, so again I move away as fast as I can and try to hit him and prevent him from having a close orbit. Still, as you can see, Raptors can do a lot of damage from close in, and they're fast too, so it's but my damage is just a bit larger, especially because he has a shield booster, and lasers are really good against shields, of course. So second kill for the Red Baron. Let's get some loot and let's see what else we get. Oh, this is a bit of a problem. I was AFK, almost captured the plex, and then suddenly I hear the beeping. I always have my modules flashing and auto target back on, so I switch back to the EVE client and I see I'm being attacked by a Republic fleet firetail. So immediately I activate my prop mod and try to take some distance, but it is not the best situation since firetails are faster than slicers, and he's managed to stay at a reasonably good range, but I don't know if he's overheating his prop mod, because I managed to take some distance and at that point my guns really start hitting. So I take him out, but I'm already pretty low armor, so I figure I might as well try and warp out, but the Malus just barrels into me at close range, hoping to tackle me, and he does. And since his damage is not too bad, I figure I'll try to take him out. And as you can see, also Malus, even though he's close by, is using his micro warp drive, so I'm getting good shots of him. But he's smart enough just to warp off, since I'm only having the web of fire, so I'm counting on opponents to be overwhelmed by the damage or just not pay attention. This next fight is against 2 ships. They're just loitering outside, and I decide to briefly look them up. They don't seem familiar players to me, and if they're like newer players, I'm happy to take a 2 versus 1 fight, since newer players aren't just that experienced, and it will be maybe an exciting fight for both of us. Here you can see me checking him out. I don't recognize him, and he's probably not a really experienced PvPer, especially in solo PvP. Okay, my goal is to take out the Condor first, since they often have tracking disruptors or they're often kiting, and if he goes away I can't catch him anymore. So I approach him as fast as I can and try to take him out first. But he doesn't seem to be very kitey, so I take some range, get my perfect tracking shots again, and then in a couple of volleys he's gone. Then I have to approach the Kestrel. He of course is trying to keep me at his longest rocket range so that he can reduce the most damage, but my guns hit out to 7.5 kilometer optimal and I managed to close in on him and take him out pretty fast. So that's a little bit unfortunate if you're a newer player. Don't worry, these things happen, you will get better, and experienced players as myself will take 2 versus 1 fights. I don't know this player as well. A probe fleet can be dangerous since they're like faster and they can get inside my tracking. So again I move away from him. I see he's trying to neutralize me as well, which has pretty good nukes. But yeah, his speed is not too good, so I managed to keep him at my perfect tracking, and the Slicer just does so much damage. I'm taking out inside of 20 seconds. So another nice victory for the Red Baron. This is also an interesting fight. Most drifters are brawl fit, but you have the occasional kite fit of course. And yeah, with just a web of fire I'm not really good at holding a micro warp drive ship close to me. Normally my lasers go out to 20 kilometers, 21 kilometers optimal, 22, but with the tracking disruptor on me that's reduced to about 16 or 17, maybe at best, sometimes 15 with high skills. So I'm trying to get just a little bit, and you see as soon as I hit 16 I start hitting him, and rifters, kite rifters are not very well tanked of course. So he is smarter, takes a larger distance and keeps his micro warp drive on, but that means he's going very fast and I'm trying to move at an angle to him so that his guns have difficulty tracking, and as you can see he's barely hitting me. I'm looking for backup on my scan, but I don't see any backup coming, so I figure I might try hit him a couple of times, and if that doesn't work I'm just going to try and warp out. I'm seeing if he's moving away from me, and if he's moving away from me I'm taking an angle directing me to a warp out point, and you see 22 kilometers, 23, 24, 25, and I'm out of there. So it takes some practice. Against really good pilots you usually won't be able to. This also sometimes happens. I'm just doing some role playing, looking over some interesting kills while warping towards Aga to look for targets, and then suddenly when I drive the gates to backside uncloak and hit their smart bombs. Fortunately the Slicer has just enough of a tank to survive a lot of smart bomb attempts, but if they hit me more square on I would have been destroyed. But the Red Baron lives to fight another day. So for this next fight, this is also a really experienced and good PvPer, so I'm just hoping his fit isn't overpowering mine. He closes in immediately and uses a tracking disruptor, but he doesn't have a web of fire, which means I should be able to find my optimal and hit him pretty hard. You can see that happen, even though he might have a micro warp drive that just blows his sig up. And I try to keep him at range. I don't want to go out of range, but he warps out. And yeah, experienced players, especially if they see they're not winning, often notice that they're not pointed and they warp out. This is also an interesting fight. I always expect Slicers to kite, but this player is well smart and he immediately approaches me, so I have to switch ammo immediately, and I'm not very worried at this point, even though I'm behind in the damage race. I know my Slicer hits much harder than his Slicer, and additionally my tank is a lot better. So indeed, in just a couple of volleys, 4 or 5 volleys, he's gone. So another victory for the Red Baron. I'm getting the loot, and of course you always have to keep an eye on your D-scan because other people might come in. And as soon as I hit scan, I see a Federation Navy combat coming. So I'm doubting a bit. Should I stay? I only have like a couple of pace, so I decide to reload anyway and take some distance so that the combat has to come to me, and it gives me some time to actually reload my paste, and hopefully my paste is reloaded just at the point that he tackles me. I see it's Lurk Star. I fought him dozens or many times before. He's a really excellent pilot and specialty combat pilot, so it will be interesting. I soften him up while I'm still reloading. I give my afterburner single heat cycle just to maintain some distance, but just a single cycle because I want to keep him interested, and as well I don't want to burn out when I'm in a brawl with him. So he keeps coming, he's sending his drones after me, and I now have to keep him interested. So I reverse course and go into a brawling stance so that I hope to kill him before he has time to warp out, because he knows very well I often fly without a point. So I'm thinking I'm fine here and I'm hitting him, but he manages to creep close and get an inside orbit. He usually flies railguns, but this time he flies blasters, which surprises me, and I make a foolish mistake here. I forget to activate my web of fire, and this causes him to get an inside orbit, and I can barely hit him, even though these are short range weapons. Comets have a tracking bonus, blasters track much better, and yeah, because of this foolish mistake he just managed to beat me, and that's the end of the maiden flight of the Red Baron. Good fights all around. Thanks for watching. Oh, and if you really like this Red Baron skin and would like one of your own, just drop me an email and I will create one of these skins for you and put them on the market. Just let me know.